Okay, this is Wonders, Unit 4, Week 2, Spelling Words. The focus this week is how to spell the sound. Say the sound with me, And you notice we're saying we're not saying like when the letter R is at the beginning of a word and it's rat and rabbit. I'm saying and it has that vowel sound in front of it. So the sentence I like to remember is her nurse first works early. And those are the 5 main spellings for the And this week in your spelling list, we're only dealing with 4 of them. So we don't have any words that use the EAR as an early. So let's say the words her nurse first works. And then, the nurse goes and does other things afterwards, but her nurse first works. Okay? And these are the ways to spell the sound So we have the as in her, the you are as in nurse, the IR as in first, and then the WOR as in works. Okay, our first spelling, the most common spelling for longer words, multi-syllable words, is the ER. And we have words where we have the ER at the end of a word, like taller and shorter and faster, or teacher or learner. We have a lot of words with in it. When it's a multi-syllable word, we don't have as many when it's a single syllable word, one syllable. But this week we have the words heard and clerks. Now this word heard with the in it, this word herd means a group of animals, like a herd of cattle or a herd of sheep. But I want you to think about a herd of clerks. Do you see? So a clerk is a person who works like in a grocery store or an office, not the boss, but the worker. Okay, so a herd of clerks. Let's go ahead and spell these words. Okay. So the word is herd. A herd of clerks. Am I at the top here? Herd. The sounds are herd. Do you hear the sounds? Herd. So it's spelled with an H. And we're using the ER to spell The herd of clerks. Now we have another word, herd, and we spell it with the this one, but this one's not on your spelling list this week. And we use the EAR, herd. So if it means a sound, this one has the ear in it. So I will hear with my ear, and I heard. So these are all related here, but that's not what's on our spelling list this week. This week we have the herd of clerks, and it's just the ER, just this one here. So let's look at those words again, the sounds. Erd, and we use the ER to spell Okay, so we have a herd of clerks. So the sounds are k, k. Oh, well, we have just one clerk, so a clerk. So let's spell it. So the first sound is k, and at the beginning of a word, our choices are a C or a K. Do you remember? We use a K if the very next letter is a E, I, or Y. So let's listen to this word. Cool. Oh, did you hear it? Ooh. My next letter is a L for the L sound, so I have to use a C. I only use a K if the very next letter is a E, I, or Y. So k, L, and I'm using the ER to spell clerk. Oh, so at the end of a word, my choice is the CK or the K. Okay. I use the CK if I come right after a single short vowel. Well, look, I'm not coming after a vowel at all, so I have to use the K. Irk. Let's say the sounds again. Oops. Took off too much. Oh, my eraser's taking off too much. There we go. Clerk. All right. The next sound, or the next word we have to look at, or the next set of spellings is this one. The UR is the most common spelling in short words, in one-syllable words. And I say her nurse first works early and then goes off to play. So it's the UR of nurse. Do you see this right here? The UR. And the words this week that we're going to remember are hurt, churn, and burst. So let's remember the sentence, it hurt when the churn burst. So you know the word hurt, right? And a churn is this thing here that's used to make butter. And you put cream in it and you pump the stick up and down, and there's a paddle on the bottom of the stick, and they would pump it up and down for a really long time and churn the cream. That's the action of making it tumble around and around and around, as we use the butter churn to churn the cream, and then it turns into butter. So imagine a bomb comes along and bursts the churn, and that would hurt if you're there churning your butter. So it hurt when the churn burst. And I'm going to say that you got hurt when the churn burst. Okay, because these all have the U in it. So we can say you got hurt when the churn burst. Let's spell these words. Our first word we're going to write is hurt. The sounds are t, and the spelling. Oops, wrong thing. Remember you got hurt, so we're using the U. Hurt. Go. Sounds are hurt. When the churn, the sounds are churn. Churn. Where let's spell it. Spelled with a CH. Spelled with the UR, because remember you got hurt when the churn burst. Let's go ahead and write that one out. Burst. You hear each of those sounds? Using the UR. Burst. You got hurt when the churn burst. Okay, all of those using the UR to make the sound. Okay. This one, the IR, is a fairly common way to spell the sound. It's not as common as the UR, but there are these common words. And we had the word first, right? So I want to say, we can say, I will first wear my skirt to stir, to help us remember that there's an I in here. I first will wear my skirt to stir. First, skirt, and stir. And it has the IR. So this is our little pilgrim girl. And long ago, they had to stir their big pots to cook their food, or they even had to stir their pots to cook soap or to do their laundry. They would actually put water to boil over a fire and then put their clothes in there and stir it with the soap to help keep their clothes clean. So I'm going to pretend that I will first wear my skirt to stir. Let's spell those words. And it has the IR. Okay. First, the sounds are first. Did you hear each sound there? Let's spell it. The IR. First. Very good. Where my skirt, the sounds. Let's spell it. Uh-oh. What am I going to use? A C or a K? Let's listen. And I know I'm using the IR. I have to use a K because I always use a K in front of E, I, or Y to spell the K sound. Skirt. There we go. Skirt to stir sounds. Stir. Spelling. It's a S. T. And I'm using the IR to spell, IR to spell the in stir. So I first will wear my skirt to stir, and these all have the IR. Okay, next spelling. This one is very special. If you have the sound after a W, we spell it WOR. Okay, and we have words like word or worry or work. This one, my work is worse. So we might think our work is hard, but this guy who has to work in this mucky, yucky, awful, dirty water, his work is worse. So he's saying to us, my work is worse. And whenever you have the sound after a W, you spell it WOR. Okay, let's write these words. Work, the sound is work. Spelling, Oh, I'm after a W, so I spell it with a OR. Work. Okay, which one am I going to use? CK or a K? I only use the CK if I come right after a single short vowel. Look, that's not even a vowel. I have to use a K. My work is worse. Yeah, that job did look worse than mine. Worse. The sounds are woo, spelling woo, I spell it with a OR after a W. Worse. Got the S there, but we don't end words with an S because we say most words we don't. There's a few exceptions. So most words that end with a S sound or a Z sound, we also use a E. Okay. So that E is silent, but it's there so that the word doesn't look like it's got several words or whatever that might be. So we always have an E, almost always have an E at the end of a word that ends with a S or Z sound. Okay, bonus words for today. First word, no. This is from last week. The sounds are N, O. And last week we had some silent letters, didn't we? N, and we spelled it with a KN for the N, O. Because if I know something and have knowledge of it, this is not the word like yes or no. This is the word I know something. I can think it. We spell it with the KN. And we use the OW to spell the O sound at the end of a word. No. Next word with our silent letters is wrist. The sounds are wrist. Okay, now my wrist can twist and turn. Do you remember when you have the R sound, that's a twisty turny word? It's spelled with a WR, like I write, or I might wring out the towel, or people who wrestle. The twisty turny words is spelled with a WR. My wrist. Okay. Wrist. Next word, found. I found a treasure. Found. No silent letters on this one. Let's just go ahead and spell it. spelled with the F. Ow. We have our two choices. In this word, we're going to use the OU to spell ow. That's the most common ow if it's in the middle of a word. Like if I found a sticker and I might say ouch. So the OU says ow. Found. I found treasure, or I might say I found a sticker and said ouch. Next word, from. From sounds from spelling oh, here's the trick. I'm going to use the O to spell the sound. Okay. We usually think of a U spelling the sound, but we do have words where the O spells like love or mother. We have quite a few words where O spells So from is one of the words where the O spells the sound. Let me mark that with a different color so you can plainly see that that's very unusual. The O spells Okay, last word for today is the word today. And today, and it actually joins two words together. So the sounds are t, oo, spelled t, oo, and we use the O to spell the oo sound in the word to, day, d, a, spelled d, a, and we use the AY to spell a at the end of a word, today. And that's it for today. Let's go over our words again. Heard with the ER, clerk with the ER. Okay. Hurt, churn, burst. So you got hurt when the churn burst. Okay. First, I first wear my skirt and stir. Okay. And remember the guy in that yucky water? Work with the WOR. His work is worse. There we go. Let's look back at our pictures. Oops. Stop that. Okay, so our main spellings are her nurse first works early and then plays. ERURIRWOR. So there's a herd of clerks, but in your spelling, you only have to write clerk without the S. Okay. And then the you got hurt when the churn burst with the churn and burst. And then I first will wear my skirt to stir. Okay, so first skirt and stir with the IR. And then the WOR, we use the OR after a W. My work is worse. That's it for today.